Hi, welcome to 9.9 Comics with Chris and Kyle.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Chris, and today we'll be talking about comics getting released January 3rd, 2018. Happy New Year, everybody.
Boom! New Year! Today I'm going to start it out, and we're going to start out with DC, big surprise, where we have Batman and the Signal, #1, which, if you don't know, I just learned this recently, but Duke Thomas, the sidekick to Batman who has not had a code name, they just call him Duke, like, get in the car, Duke! And everyone's like, what's your code name? He's like, well, my name's Duke, and you will call me Duke. But he finally gets a name, and his first comic that is basically about him, Batman and Signal #1. Pretty big deal. Also have Batman White Knight #4 coming out. I know we've talked about it previously, but it's just #3 is a highly sought after comic. It's
specifically the variant with the two Harley Quinns
right,
on the cover.
Right, which is the one I got luckily. And it's they've done something crazy where they have taken Harley Quinn and split her up into two characters, where there's the original Harley Quinn, who is more sane, the doctor one, and then there's crazy Amanda Connor, Harley Quinn. And it's interesting on what they're doing with the differences they put in the two characters. And ironically, I didn't think that was going to go over well, splitting Harley Quinn into two different people, but everyone loved it. But that's it for DC. Moving into Marvel, we have Phoenix Resurrection #2. Resurrection #1 did really well. They're actually comparing it with Doomsday Clock, which is, I mean, come on. And then we have Rise of Black Panther #1, which coming is the Black Panther movie we all know. And if you've seen Civil War, which I just watched recently, Black Panther's badass. They're doing him well. The guy who plays the Black Panther is also awesome.
Saw another movie with him in it where he comes from South Africa to like LA to find his sister, and just like it's dope.
Good action movie star, which is what you need for a role like that. The Black Panther is brutal. And then we have Guardians of the Galaxy #150, which is the final issue. They're cutting off Guardians of the Galaxy. It's going to go on a hiatus. They're just not going to be writing some for right now. Until, I mean, it's so hot, especially with the movies coming out and being such big hits. It's not going to be forever. They're going to come out with another one, of course. But there's going to be a really nice final issue lenticular. And then finally for Marvel, we have X-Men Grand Design #2, which is the last issue. Did very well. So, I mean, we always want you to get the #2s when the #1s, I mean, fly off the shelves like they do. I mean, you can't argue with that. It's just logic.
Especially with the track that Marvel's been going on, you do want to be picking up some of these comics because while Legacy might not have been what did the turnaround, the events that Legacy set in motion are bringing Marvel back to the front. They're starting to make the right moves with cutting out some of these titles, lowering their selection every week, so you don't have to come and buy 70-something titles to keep up with Marvel. There's
just too much. That's the issue. It's too much Marvel, and it's not very. They don't care enough about one particular. They focus more on the bigger issue, the big picture. But I mean, you can't really focus on the big picture when you're not worried about the little things. And I think they're really turning around now. Good things are coming. I mean, Thanos is amazing. If you're not reading Thanos by Donny Cates, get on it. But that's it. That's all I have to say.
So moving on from there, we're going to get into Dark Horse. Giants #2 is coming out. Giants sold incredibly well in store. It's an amazing comic, especially with just like the same mythos that you get, and we've talked about it before, so we're not going to spend too long on it. New one is Koshi the Deathless #1. This is coming from the Hellboy universe. Koshi has been trying to hunt Hellboy down forever, and so he's coming back from hell, I guess, and to get him. It looks to be pretty good. Obviously, Hellboy is a certain collector's niche, so anything relating to it, #1 is a good one to have.
Right.
Moving on from Dark Horse into Aftershock, we have Babyteeth #7.
Hell yeah.
Once again, we can't harp on how awesome Donny Cates books are, especially Babyteeth.
But yeah, for real, guys, Babyteeth is slacking. Like it's not as big as it should be, but it's amazing writing. Like I'm absolutely hooked on it. I can't stop reading it.
And this is going to be a more of a long-term collection,
right?
Especially with how well Donny Cates is doing on Doctor Strange and Thanos out of the big two. He's going to get a lot more widespread name recognition working for the big two. Because, I mean, people from the big two that you know, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, I mean, Frank Miller, before they worked for the big two, you probably didn't really know them too well. Not a lot of people did. So you get a good name recognition from there, and that's going to, in turn, blow up a lot of his older works. God Country is probably going to see a significant raise. Babyteeth, significant raise. All these ones that you have the opportunity to get on with now, in the future, will be huge deals. So moving on from there, we're going to get into Image, obviously the more important publisher for this type of show. So
you watch your mouth, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love DC and Marvel, and DC is...
I'm just kidding, dude. We don't have time to all have this argument.
Alright. So, Image, Scales and Scoundrels number 5. It's been doing very well. Definitely keep up with it. Number 1 with a bullet, number 3. Probably one of my personal favorites off of this list. Strong storyline, especially with how soon that kind of creepy stuff can be happening. It's kind of scary. Gravediggers Union number 3 is a great, like, campy horror book. Our buddy Mickey absolutely loves it.
Shout out.
I as well absolutely love it. I recommend you guys pick it up. And then we also have Crosswinds number 6 final issue. Crosswinds was that James Bond type comic, came around the same time as Jimmy's Bastards. I don't
Did
know.
A little better.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the final issue forever. I know it's the final issue for at least this arc. So it is definitely very important to pick up.
Also, you can't compare to Jimmy's Bastards. Jimmy's Bastards is a comedy and Crosswinds is more serious.
Yeah.
But moving on to IDW, we have Infinite Loop, Nothing But the Truth, number 3, which is another one of those heavy hitters that came out not too long ago. And then moving on to Valiant, we have Secret Weapons number 0, which is the prequel to the Secret Weapons we've already talked about a while ago. Came out a few months ago, actually. And this is just the origin story more so. And that is the end of Valiant, which means it is time for the 9.9 no-brainer. And guess what it is, guys? Walking Dead. I don't know if you could notice what we had up here.
Yeah, we were hinting at something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it could have been, though.
So, Walking Dead, number 175. It's a new story arc. We're done with the whole Negan thing. We're done with that. Well, not done with it, but I mean, I think we've dragged it on for long enough. It's a new story arc and also a key issue, introduction of people. I mean, you can't when it's stuff. New Walking Dead issues when it introduces new people, or a new story arc.
Happens.
Right, stuff happens. We always got to be aware of that. I mean, Walking Dead is one of the modern day heavy hitters where if something big happens, waves happen. Like it's like a meteor hitting the ocean.
I'm sure
the whole comic book community is aware.
And I'm sure most of you watching this already know it's the introduction of the New World Order.
Right.
So this is exciting. I don't even read it, and I'm actually pretty excited to see where they go with it. Like, I know the storyline vaguely and stuff because I hang out with Walking Dead nerds. So so I know what's going on in the show, and obviously as a collector, in the comics as well. And obviously as a collector, I have to keep up with it. Otherwise, I'm going to miss out on key issues that I need. So I have an idea of what's going on in the universe. Obviously, I'm not reading it, so I don't know for sure. And this piques my interest. Like, I'm like, oh, maybe I should read this. Just so we're
in a place in the Walking Dead storyline where questions that we asked from the first season. What happened to the government? Is there going to be a new government? Does the government still exist? Who's going to be in charge? Like, at what point is there going to be a large community trying to take order again? And I mean, here we are, guys.
Yep. So obviously a big deal, and I'm sure all of you have seen the cover. All the guys in the white suits and uniforms.
The white hazmat suits.
Yeah. With they're not even real hazmat suits. If you look at it, it's like hockey gear, just all painted white. Like, it's dope. I love it. I love it because of how professional, but also how unprofessional it looks.
Very Fallout.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
So.
But with that, I bid you adieu.
Have a good night.
I christen thee, Chris of 9.9 Comics. This is when we christen people as nerds is what we use. Later, guys.